so much for attending. And you know what? That is, oh my gosh, it's the last session. It's 5 p.m. when I saw it, like, nobody will come. It's not even Django and whatever. But so thank you everybody who's stuck here. All right, so how many of you know what is Postgres? Hey, beautiful. Okay, how many of you ever worked with Postgres directly, not through your beloved ORM? All right, good. Because, honestly, I know that most times developers just use Postgres, but they don't really talk to Postgres. All right, so let's see where we will get this way. Okay, so that's me. I'm Henrietta Dombrovskaya. I am from Chicago. I'm a database architect in DRW Holdings, right across the river, but you cannot fly, so you need to use the bridge. I'm the founder and president of Prairie Postgres non-for-profit organization dedicated to Postgres education in Midwest states in the United States. Also, I'm organizer of PG Data Conference, and I have literature about PG data. Please consider coming, contributing, etc. And I run a Chicago Postgres user group. I already mentioned a couple of times. It's conveniently this Wednesday, and conveniently again right across the river. But you will need to leave from here a little bit earlier. But I will have pizza, including Chicago-style deep dish. So consider, okay? Also, I have lots of things on my plate. I'm a communication chair of SCM Chicago chapter, and I was recently elected on the board of Linux Professional Institute. Oh my God, what I signed for, I did not even know, but now I have to do this. All right, so, and also I wrote a book about Postgres, so Monica actually reminded, I forgot to include the slide. Oh, and Hetty also wrote the book, so available on Amazon. Okay, you can scan QR code. So now to the actual presentation. So I actually never did talks about parameters. I mean, you guys, most of you do not know me, but people who know me knows I never do talks about, in general, tuning parameters. And I only had, that's the second run of this talk in all my career. So why I am doing it. So I will tell you why I'm doing it. So actually, what does it mean to tune your database? I thought I know what it means. I was tuning queries all the time before Postgres, but until I joined EDB, it was a brief moment in my career, I did not know what people mean by like tuning parameters, okay? So what I found in EDB, I found that tuning database, meaning tuning parameters, and that was like, oh my gosh, I do not know why people even want to tune parameters. So horror story, I never did it before I joined EDB. I never tuned parameters at all. And you know why I never did it? And that's what let's talk about. Because actually, at large, it does not really matter whether parameters are tuned or not. Often I was not in the position of tuning because I was not a DBA, I was a database developer, I was a consultant and coming at like, what they're talking about, why you need to tune something, that's your job, write this like, export, write this interface and get out of here. So I could not, and also I learned to live without tuning parameters. Still, people believe in magic of parameters, and that's what I found when I worked with EDB. So I am wondering why people like honestly believe that there is some magic like set of perfect Postgres parameters, and these wizards from EDB or other consulting companies, they know this like world wisdom, and they can come and like tune the database, everything will run with the speed of light. So why people believe in this? Because that's not true. So you know why people believe? Because it's easy. Because, working on each modular of your program, working on each query is boring, it takes time, and like, what if you would have a magic? And that's why people believe in magic, because people won't believe in magic because it tunes everything automatically, okay? So my goal today is to show you that tuning parameters almost doesn't matter. And why it's so difficult to show? I actually, people who work with Postgres, they know that it does not matter. But it's very difficult to demonstrate that it does not matter. You know why it's difficult? Because we are tuning holistic system for output versus individual queries. So you cannot really run a demo to show that you improve whole system output. It's difficult to model real-life workload. It's difficult to model real-life concurrency. So it's difficult to run an example where you can actually say A, B matters, does not matter. And I've been struggling to do this also for a while. But again, that is the reality. Tuning parameters and ask any honest DBA, tuning parameters, even if you do the best, even if parameters will not tune at all until you come first time, you can make it like 10, 20, 50 times better, maximum, okay? At the same time, tuning queries can make your application run like several tens times faster. In tuning your application structure, that is DHRM, might make it run like hundreds times faster, but I was not allowed to talk about it. I actually submitted 2 talks. One was about this and one about DHRM, and guess which one was accepted? Sorry. We were talking about parameters versus queries. All right. So let's look at one query example. So as I said, unfortunately, I cannot model like system through output. So let's look at this query example. And this query runs on the PostgreSQL database, which we created for demos of this book, for this book, Postgres Query Optimization. It's available on my GitHub. It's the largest publicly available Postgres database where you can really learn and like tune, like learn to build indexes, etc. So PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL is about airlines, about flights, about passengers, and all these things. So let's look at this query. So this query selects for each flight which departed from JFK Airport and landed in O'Hare International between August 8 and August 12, 2023. For each of these flights, it tells you the actual departure time and number of passengers on this flight. Okay, normal query, just 2 joins, like not a big deal. So now, we are executing this query on clean database. We just installed it. You went to GitHub, like install PostgreSQL, downloaded database, load it, okay, go. So I will make it bigger, no worries, okay? So execution time for this query is 2.4 seconds. And you think it's like, okay, 2.4 seconds. It's not. Right, it's not okay, it's not okay, right. And again, I will make it bigger. Yeah, does it make it, okay, yeah, that's I'm showing you this part of the execution plan, which is bad. So you can see here, there are lots of reads, and it's like buffer swapping, etc. So, what we can improve here? For this query, what parameters we can improve to make it run? First of all, okay, there was a large table, and maybe, so you notice there is like a single worker. So actually, let me go back to, yeah, number of, okay, sorry, yeah, number of parallel, oh, sorry, what I did wrong. Let me try to go back. Can I go back? Yes, I can go. So number of parallel workers in the beginning was 0. Okay. Hey. What? Sorry. Oh, where I was. Okay, here I was. Okay. So number of parallel workers here was 0. Okay. Apologies. Moving forward. Okay, so number of parallel workers was 0, shared buffers default, and work memory default. Okay, now let's improve it. Let's make max parallel workers per gather 2. Okay, and we are doing this, and we are making, we are making execution time 2.1 seconds. Better, still not good, right? Okay, because it's still the same problem. Okay, now, let's move it. Okay, move it. I am turning in the wrong way. Sorry, I am turning it in the opposite direction. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, so now we are increasing work memory. We are increasing work memory for half a gigabyte. Then we increase work memory for 1 gigabyte. So we are improving 1.8. Still, it's not good enough. So last resort. Okay, let's try to increase shared buffers. We're increasing shared buffers. It requires restart. So 1 second. By the way, if we increase it more, it will be 1.1. Oh my God. So what we're doing? So we're increasing shared buffers, that's it. So we increased it twice, right? Twice and still like, okay. So let's try something different, okay? Let's look closer at the execution plan. So we have the scan of table for the departure days between August 8 and August 12. So here is this scan. So what we're going to do to a scan? Who knows what we're going to do to a scan? Index, create an index, right? Creating an index, building an index, and the execution time, immediately 0.7 seconds, hooray! But it's still not good enough. So what else is bad with this execution plan? Okay, that's what the bad with this execution plan. We still have another gigantic table, which we still are doing full scan. So we need to build what? Another index, correct. We need to build another index. Okay, so this one built another index. Now, I know it's gigantic plan. I will highlight what changed. Okay, here is what changed. Now we have this index and execution time, 60 milliseconds, okay? So, and next thing, do you know what will happen if we will ditch all our parameters improvements and get it back to what it was? Who knows what will happen? Nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. So forget about all these parameter tunings. We build 2 right indices, bumps. Execution times is like what, 20 times faster? Okay, so good enough, right? So now, execution speed, everything well. So now, why we need parameters? Why we need parameters at all? We need parameters because that's the only way for us to tell Postgres how the hardware on which it's running looks like. Without parameters, Postgres does not know how much memory it has, how many cores it has, what it can allocate, how many buffers it can read. So without properly communicating, Postgres will use only a small fraction of memories, or will never run parallel query, or will avoid using indices if it would not change random page cost. So the only role of parameters is clearly communicate, hey, Postgres, that's resources you have, use them, and then it will use it, to the point. Other than that, it's like no magic, okay? So application change, I know I was not allowed to talk about this, but just telling you, there are lots of things where you can change the way how you query, not adding indices, like for example, using equal instead of approximate in 95% of time. Why you did this one? I don't know. Actually, we can work on this. Avoid extra column transformations like truncate created at current date is column transformation. You can easily do it more or less. Not committing until the end of the batch, committing after this. Our beloved ORMs love either committing after each insert, begin, select, rollback, all this good stuff. So this might drastically improve your performance. Now, it's almost me. So where to find me? Phones up. I'm everywhere, by the way. I'm everywhere. Hetty Postgres. You can Google. You will find more than I want you to know about me. LinkedIn, GitHub, and we have Meetup. So please sign up if you are interested. If you sign up, I need your first last name. We're a high security building. That's it. And thank you so much. And any questions? Okay.
So you said the main reason that parameters exist is because Postgres doesn't know how many cores you have, how much memory you have, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And my reaction is, Well, why not? Can't it probe that stuff at startup?
Okay, so there are ways to query from Postgres where you are running and find this out. But the query planner, at the moment when it runs, the query planner relies on parameters. Query planner reads. Sorry, okay. A query planner reads parameters, reads from Postgres catalog, and it relies on what you communicate to it. And you know what, there are many ways how we can actually artificially tell Postgres things which are not necessarily true, but we want Postgres to think this way. It's like all separate kind of, all separate theory. Then you can do different allocations based on your workload. For example, it's actually rarely the case because almost everybody will tell you, or depending on whether you are OLAP or OLTP, you need to set up parameters differently. So people, you all work in industry. What are our databases? Are they OLTP or OLAP? None. They are hybrid. 95% of our databases are hybrid. So that's also kind of like questionable thing. But again, like the theory behind this that you can tune based on your specific workload. And there are situations when you have like 1 million users. I had a customer like this, or you have like 10 marketing analytics who bring your database down. These 10 people, you know, I love marketing analytics. You know how they build their models. They like read the whole database into their Python because they cannot do incremental models build. So yeah. All right.
Thanks so much for being here. In the spirit of your other talk about application performance tuning, what resources would you recommend to look at?
For application performance tuning?
Yes.
That is a good question. I actually, you know, again, it's probably better to recommend it at Django. I do not know book about Django performance improvement, but Andy Atkinson has amazing book about Postgres for Rails, where but it's like the same basically, like dealing with Postgres when you have like object-oriented system which uses ORM. That's actually one of the best books about this. So maybe, you know, somebody will do this for Django or for Python or for both. Right?
6 minutes left for questions.
Oh, that's
Anybody?
okay. No, that's it. Okay, you know where to find me, right? Okay. It's the last talk of this.